somewhere safe. All right. Daisy, what's going on? Sumaya.
I'm also driving home.
Okay, you're driving home. No one should put their cameras on while you're driving. You were not taking this class while you were driving. We pulled over by metro.
No, I was at the doctor, so
okay.
I'm like close to the house.
Okay, when you get to somewhere safe, then you can turn your camera on. You were not taking this class driving, please. We are all public health professionals. Safety first. Okay. All right. So let me start with some house cleaning as usual before we, dive into today's discussion. Okay, since this is our last class, right, I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page with regards to what your grades look like, total grade. I know I said that the last time, but I just want to reemphasize that. Right now, you have done close to 80% of the assignments to date. So I think you just have two outstanding assignments, and that's your quiz 5, or 3 outstanding assignments. That's quiz 5, the presentation, final presentation, and the final exam. So those are the 3 assignments due in this class. So quiz 5, the final presentation, quiz 5 is due this week, final presentation next week, and then the final the upper week, right? So you just have those remaining exam. So right now your total score on your grade book should be grand total for all the assignments should be 755. 755 should be your grand total, right? So if you have a grand total of 755, then you're part of this class. Now that's the denominator. Now the numerator can vary depending on what you got per assignment, right? So you decide whether you're sitting on an A or B with regards to the numerator. But the denominator should be 755. Now, if you're getting anything less than 755, then you have not turned in yours that are missing. If you see 600 and something there, instead of 750, some assignment, you have to evaluate, and you have to review your grade book and know what assignments you've not turned in. So the grand total right now should be 755 if you have not taken quiz 5. If you've taken quiz 5, because I know a student had to request for me to open up quiz 5 because she wasn't going to be available this week and subsequent week. So if you've taken quiz 5, your grand total should be 805. If you've not taken quiz 5, you still have this week to take quiz 5, so that's okay. Your grand total should be 755. So I feel that everyone's grand total should be 755 minus quiz 5. So I hope we're on the same page with regards to grades. With regards to quizzes. So how far with your quizzes? How has the quizzes been so far? You guys took quiz 4 last week. How's the quizzes been?
Some of the questions is not something that I would remember, so I would definitely have to go through my book and really dig through it, and that was time consuming because some of the questions were just I guess I didn't remember it from the reading. Right. I would have to go in and shuffle it really quickly, and that was, I think, mostly for most of the quizzes, but I managed.
Okay. So, but you had to do a second pass.
I had to do a second pass
on the questions, right? Who else? Quizzes.
Yeah, I feel the same way as Yana. Some of the stuff I read the books, and for me, public health is not my primary thing, so I read it. Mm-hmm. And when I take the quiz, the information doesn't stick to me that well but even then, so I know I read it well, and I have to go back and find maybe that one word and so it's a little bit. It's very time consuming. Like I'm usually like I'm at 40 seconds, and I'm the last 2-3 questions, so I just click.
Right, because actually what I also do is when I go in to see you, because you guys do a good job with the quizzes, right? So what you're saying is you have to do a second pass or a second review of what you had read before to make sure it's actually, so it's not necessarily the technicality of the quiz, like, Mo is like, nope, that's not it. So it's not the technicality, it's, what I mean by technicality is like the technology involved. So with regards to the attempts, I actually go in to see what's the average time, what's the average time students actually, take. I think outside of those that have accommodations in this class, because a couple of students have accommodation in this class. I'm talking about those that don't have accommodation. What I mean by accommodation is, like, let's say the average time for a quiz, I give you guys like 90 minutes. Prove me wrong. Yana has got to the close.
It's usually like 50 to 60 minutes.
Depending on the number of questions. So if it's 20 questions, I know I give you. Let me open it to. I give you an average. I give you for 20 questions. I may give you 15 minutes and like 10 minutes grace time. But for those that have accommodation in this class, I give those that have accommodation. I give them the time. So I actually look at those. That's the average time for those that do not have accommodations to know when you are finishing with the quiz. And then when I see that, okay, for a quiz that's 20 questions and let's say 60 minutes, and people are finishing under 20 minutes, I'm like, wow, okay. It was easy breezy. Let me put it that way. But why I'm asking all those questions is because you're going to take the final exam, and the final exam is going to be comprehensive. So looking at quiz 4, right? Quiz 4 basically had 25 questions, 24 questions, and I gave you guys an hour on quiz 4. So I'm not talking about those that have accommodation, I'm talking about those that don't have. So for 24 questions, an hour, then I give like 5 minutes grace time. So I'm actually asking these questions because of the final, because the final is going to be comprehensive. As I said, it's going to have some of the questions that you have touched on in previous quizzes. So it's not going, even if you're going to have new questions, they're not going to be a lot of new questions. So if you're conversant with the questions that have been taken before, then it's going to be easy breezy. Okay, any questions about the quizzes? Anyone, no questions? Okay, so like, look, Christine, I always look at Christine when I come to, I look at some people in this class, like randomly, right? Because I like people that challenge themselves, because we're in grad school. I like students that challenge themselves, that feel like, okay, I'm in grad school and I can do the work. I can do the work for grad school, and I keep talking about Christine, and now I have someone in Yana and Mo, these are, and Evana, let me not, because Evana is an international student. I have to throw that out. If you step out of the box and say, okay, I will challenge myself and see myself do this thing. And that is what grad school is about. It's different from undergrad. So in a way, there's a level of responsibility put on your shoulder to do the work. And some of you have actually hit that ball out of the ballpark in this class, and I must commend you guys. You know yourselves. So I started, should I call everyone's name from Lindsay to Evana to Yana to Christine to Mo? Someone is giving me the side eye, like we should go. Okay, let me move on. Let me move on because I digress. All right. So, and then, okay, so I've touched on your total grade, I've touched on quizzes, and then attendance. Any other thing I need to know? Because this is the last class.
How long will our final be? How long will our final, like, how long will you give us for our final then? Because you were
Okay.
talking. Also, like, as a side note, like, I don't know, on this last quiz, like, I couldn't always see the data set, so it was sometimes like a guess about what it was that I was putting, because I couldn't see the data that it was asking me to, like, calculate. I'm not sure if other people have that problem. I seem to consistently have technology problems of the group. I mean, it could just be like that I'm inept. So
try Edge on your computer. Do you have Edge on Microsoft?
Do you have? Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Lindsay. This issue of because I know we addressed it like a couple of weeks back.
I know they said that it came up like some other. I didn't have that issue on the last.
Okay,
one.
you didn't have that issue.
Mm-mm.
You did not.
I didn't have that issue before, but like this one, I like could not see any data.
Okay, you didn't have the issue. Yeah, because like I think it came up, that issue of not seeing the boxes, the content of the box came up in the midterm. And that was when it came up for the first time, because quiz 1 and quiz 2 did not have anything to do with boxes and tables. It was in the midterm. And I know we discussed that full length, talking about switch up your browser. Sometimes it could be that you have a slow browser, because even if I'm using Edge and the internet speed is slow, some pictures you just kind of have that icon showing you that there's a picture there, but it's not coming up because maybe your browser is slow, or you're using maybe Firefox or Chrome that wouldn't show you the picture as against Microsoft Edge, right? So you didn't have the issue before, and then it came up. So please, let me reemphasize. For the finals, go to maybe a cafe that has high-speed internet, or maybe you're at home and you have high-speed internet. I don't know. Kindly use high-speed internet. That's number one. Number two, use a picture-friendly browser. Let me emphasize this so that people don't come saying, oh, okay, like the technicalities of, we talked about it. It could be that you're using Firefox. You can switch up to Edge. It could be you're using Edge, switch to Chrome. I think Edge is better, but if you're using Chrome, switch to Edge. If you're using Firefox, switch to a picture-friendly browser. Stay in an environment that has high-speed internet. And I think that is all you need to see those. As I said, using mine as an example, when my internet is slow, it shows me those icons. It doesn't show me the full picture. If I move to somewhere that's high speed, then the pictures pick up. So please, for your final exams, because I said it's going to be a mix of, questions, past and present. Kindly ensure that you're using adequate internet speed and browser. Any questions? Any questions?
I did try Edge this last time, and I wasn't able to see the photos either, although I had the same issue as Lindsay. I was able to see them in the past. So
okay.
I tried all the browsers this time, and I couldn't see it with any of them. So now that you say that, I'll attribute it to that. It might just be my home internet is too slow, or the kids were on their game systems. I don't know.
Okay. So as I said, right, it's actually the browser. If you use Edge and it wasn't showing, because sometimes Firefox isn't so good, or Chrome, Edge is better with the tables. And for those that didn't have the issue, I remember Yana having to post it on the community center saying, switch your browser, because it could be a browser issue. And people that switched were able to see that icon there showing that if there's a picture that needs to load up, then it's the internet speed, because it happens to me with regards to internet speed. Even if I am using Edge, I will see that icon. So that's why I'm saying, please, even if it has to mean you leaving your house and going to a cafe where you know there's going to be high speed in the final exam,